Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Recap Book Edition. My name is Jose Altamirano, and today we'll be discussing week number 3 of our book, How to Win Friends and Influence on People. We learned a lot this week, so I hope you stay throughout the video, and I will see you after the intro. Alright, so this week, Dale Carnegie taught us how to win people to your way of thinking. And he gives us 12 principles, and I'll go ahead and put those on the screen. 12 principles to win people to your way of thinking. Principle number 1, the only way to get the best out of an argument is to avoid it. Principle number 2, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you are wrong. Principle number 3, if you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Principle number 4, begin in a friendly way. Principle number 5, get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately. Principle number 6, let the other person do a great deal of talking. Principle number 7, let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. Principle number 8, try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Principle number 9, be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Principle number 10, appeal to the noble motive. Principle number 11, dramatize your ideas. Principle number 12, throw down a challenge. And these principles, I think the main idea that I got out of all this is that if you ever think that you need to change someone's way of thinking, you want to be respectful. Respect their feeling of importance. Respect their values. Because there's a section here where he talks about that the only way you can get anyone, he says the only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. And we must respect that. We all have different ideas of what we want in life. What might be good for you might not be good for someone else. So by respecting the other person's values, what he values or she values, and also by respecting their feeling of importance. And how do we do that? Well, for example, in the first principle, he says the only way to get the best out of an argument is to avoid it. That's intense. Because how many times do we get into arguments with people? Especially, for example, when you talk about politics, when you talk about religion, about, those hot topics that people don't, they get emotional. There's a lot of emotions in there. Or what if someone says, he tells a story about when he went to a party and there was this guy who said a quote that according to him was from the Bible. But the author was like, no, that's from Shakespeare. And when he went ahead and turned to his friend and said, hey, you can back me up on this, he said, no, it's from the Bible. Later on in the car when they were driving home, he said, you know better than anyone that was from Shakespeare. And he said, yes, but the guy was the host. Why would I embarrass him? And we like to do that because, we want to get a feeling of importance, like, I know more than you, right? But the truth is, sometimes there's no point. Or perhaps there is a point, but attacking their feeling of importance, it's not going to get us that. So what he says is, be gentle. It's not a matter of just going in there and saying, you're wrong, I'm right, follow me because I'm smarter than you. They're going to resent that. So why is this important to be able to take this, gently with people and be able to persuade them rather than push them into believing what we believe? It's because they're gonna be part of our relationships. They're gonna be part of our lives. I remember when I was working, I used to do property management once, and my manager at that moment said, Jose, you have experience selling? I said, yeah. And she said, okay, well, what's the difference between selling, for example, shoes to leasing in an apartment? And I said, I'm not sure. And she said, well, when you sell a pair of shoes, you're done with the customer. You perhaps will never see them again. So there's some level of ability for you to lie in there. You might say, well, this shoes is, they're going to be the most comfortable shoes, yada, yada, and they'll buy them. Now, there's a chance they'll return them, but let's say it's a tourist, you'll never see them again, right? you made a sale. And she said, but see, when you lease an apartment, she said, you're going to end up seeing that person every single day for the rest of the year. So if you lied, if you were dishonest, they will come back. And that really rang a bell when I was reading this, because yeah, you can oppress someone into changing their way of thinking. But if you're going to have a relationship with them, for example, how do you deal with correcting someone's behavior, or perhaps, motivating someone to believing in something you believe when it's your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister? It's tough. If you're going to have your relationship with them after that, and they resent you because you forced them, what you're going to end up causing is for them to go away. And I don't think anyone wants to win an argument so that they can lose their partner or their friend or their family members. So he invites us to do this. First of all, avoid the arguments. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. I think that is a big one right there. A lot of people think, well, how am I supposed to get them to think like I do? Well, by listening to them and telling them, when you listen to them, finding out what they want, and then going ahead and showing them how your idea, your way of thinking can help them obtain that which they want. And how do you get to know what they want? Well, listening to them, right? You listen to them, you tell them, okay, tell me what you want. Let's say, hey, well, I want to be a cook. All right, why? I know a lot of people, we criticize our friends or family members because we want them to be a certain thing, right? But why not listen to them? Oh, well, I'm really good with recipes. That's why I want to be a cook. Oh, really? Like, for example. And that also opens the door for us. Because as much as we like to believe that we're always right, we're not. We're humans. We make mistakes as well. And with that, we have to understand that sometimes we may be in the wrong and that person may be in the right. But if we get on our horses and I'm right and you're wrong and I don't care what you think, even when we realize that we are wrong, it will be impossible for us to backtrack and say, hey, you know what, you're right. Can you imagine if you made a fool of yourself, if you made a stand, that you were right, and all of a sudden you find out, or you get all the facts and turns out now you realize, oh man, I made a mistake. How easy would it be for you to turn around and say, you know what, I made a mistake, man? Probably not. Probably you're going to die saying that you're right, just so you don't confront the heat of admitting that you're wrong. But if we are able to listen to them and try to see things from their perspective, then I believe that's going to be an easier route for both of us. And when we believe that we are right, we get to listen to them, and then we can show them, hey, okay, I get what you mean, I see your point, and look, what I'm trying to say is this, and this can help you achieve what you want. So the 12 principles, I think, make a lot of sense once you actually want to have a better relationship with people as well. Not just a matter of winning an argument. I mean, if you want to be a guy who wins an argument and you don't care what people think of you, if you don't care if people leave you because you'd rather be right, great. Stick with it, if that's working for you. But I don't know about you, but I prefer to have a meaningful relationship with my brother, with my sister, with everyone in my family, than try to be always right, just because I want to feel important. And at the same time, that shows a lot of perhaps like weaknesses in our belief and our self-esteem, which I think brings us to something very special. We already have the book ready for the next book that we're going to be reading, and that's going to be this book, Nathaniel Branden's 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. A friend of mine recommended this book. She's actually starting to become a psychologist, and she said it's a great book, and she wanted me to do it here in the channel. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I actually read another book from him before, and I thought it was amazing. It was called Honoring the Self. So this book that I'm gonna be reading, starting 2 weeks from now, we're gonna be doing. It's about 300 pages, so we'll do the equation for this one as well. But with that said, we are coming to the end of this episode of the recap, How to Win Friends and Influence on People, week number 3. And remember, read your 9 pages every day. Try to find the time. I know in the and the rushes of our daily lives is hard, but if it's worth it, why not? I can tell you, next week we're going to go ahead and do the full recap of the book. Go ahead and explain what I got the most out of it, and hopefully I can hear your comments as well. I want to know how to improve this episodes. If you noticed, last week's episode was a little different, and that was because we wanted to go outside and try something new. So we're evolving, we're changing, we're always growing, and I hope that to hear from you as well. All right, have a wonderful week. Read your 9 pages, and I will see you next week, starting with week number 4. All right, take care. Bye bye.